Dalmatian. His name is Louie, and he's just like the best dog. So let me know if you guys want to see Louie in a future video I've already done. With him after we went on a run, which was fun because he was like relaxed. So I got to, kind of show it. I got in the hall and him just be in the background chilling. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in the future. But I also wanted to talk about the elephant in the room. I did change like my background, so let me know what you guys think about that. I kind of like the vibes. It's more of a like relaxed feel, I just kind of put up a black sheet and then, obviously the lights. So yeah, I'm really digging it. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm not saying digging it. I don't know why I said that. But anyways, let's go and get into this. This is the book that I have to share with you guys today. It's shorter, so I figure I could read this and help you guys fall asleep. And it is called The Gifted Storyteller. The Gifted Storyteller. The power is in the story you tell, by Greg Coral. I think I'm saying that right. Let's turn to the first page. If you guys are okay, I'm just gonna skip the acknowledgement because, I'll link in the description somewhere where you can look at the book, but I'll just skip the acknowledgement and get to the actual story. So yeah. So if you guys don't know, this is a self-help book in the form of a short story. So just to kind of give you guys some inside information. But let's start with the prologue here. The prologue. By now you know that people are different. While we all have the same basic composition, bones, blood, etc., none of us are the same. We all live different lives, choose different friends and careers, make very different choices, and so forth. The world may exist as it is, but each of us sees it differently, and as a result, experiences life differently. The picture below is an optical illusion. You may be able to see two faces looking at each other, or you may be able to see a white face. So I'm going to show you guys. That's the picture. And let me know what you guys see. I see both. Neither image is more right than the other. Both the face and the vase exist, but if you are only able to see one of the options, it would drastically affect the story you tell about the picture. Assuming you can see both pictures, one image may evoke a more empowering feeling, that strong feeling of happiness, sadness, anger, etc. will dominate your focus and have an effect on what you think about the picture, how you talk about the picture, and how you choose to act after seeing the picture. The more options you see, the more choices you have before taking your next step. Life works exactly the same way. An event happens with more than one way to see it, and the way you will respond is based on what you are able to see and then what you choose to focus on. This is the reason that when you get into arguments, both people are certain that they are right until they take the time to see what the other person sees. In life, situations occur. People say and do things that you have to interpret. As a result, you start asking yourself questions about what is happening. What did the person mean? You then make decisions based on how you interpret the event and the questions you ask yourself. As you do this, you make a choice of how to respond and take action. This is how the story in your head begins. As the story unfolds, you react with your emotions to what is happening. Some things you As a result of those feelings, combined with the events happening, you again make more decisions, take more action, and your story continues to unfold. Over time, the story becomes your life. Who is telling your story? What if a genie popped out of a bottle and said she was going to give you a power so great you could create your life as it happened? That when something occurred, you could see all the different options as to how to respond, and you could choose the one that would give you the most positive, uplifting outcome and benefit yourself and those around you. You would be gifted truly and have so much power that you could turn any situation into either an opportunity or a horror story. What if you already have this power? The storyteller in your head does this every moment of every day. You are the gifted storyteller. Chapter 1. Another day. As I sit in the hospital room and stare out the window, I can't escape the sounds of steady, repetitive beats of machines or the smell of the sterile environment. Looking away from the outside world, I turn my head and my vision falls into focus on my father lying in bed. Where did all those lines on his face come from? The wisp of gray hair across his head used to be so perfectly matted. My hands hold his soft, smooth, almost cushion-like skin, which used to have such a firm grip. I have so many incredible memories of my time with him, none of which can really be seen clearly in my mind right now. All I see are flashes of images, quick-shot memories, like slideshows filled with random pictures. He defined so much for me as a child, who a man should be, and what it is like when you have it together. Both were illusions, but the idea was to hold on to the memory for as long as I could as I grew into an adult. He used to tell me not to put him up on a pedestal. At first this upset me, and I kind of took him down, so to speak, but then I realized that of course I'm going to place him on a pedestal because he's my dad. When a parent does right by a child and is ultimately more absent than present, that's what you do. You look up to what they've given you and you try to emulate the great parts. Perhaps that's why children turn out as replicas of their parents to some extent. Of course, this means you emulate their demons as well, unless the experience was painful enough for you to force yourself to change and ensure you're never like them or that aspect of them. As I turn my head to look up at the doctor, I can barely make out much of what he says, as if it really mattered anyway, because the nearing outcome was the same. We've done all we can. While I know it's not over, it changes things when you know there's a finite line in the sand. Perhaps a few months, maybe a few days. It's the shadow of goodbye hanging over us that grips my sadness, squeezing it. Death is so final. No more hugs, no more conversations, just a hole in your life. As that last thought hangs in the air, my dad looks at me and smiles, knowing what I know. And as any good parent would, he gives me the "it will be okay" look. And yes, it will be okay, and everyone goes through it, but that doesn't make it any easier. A week ago, he made one simple request: bring me a mirror, and it's been in his hand ever since. Every now and again, he looks at it and just stares, making occasional facial expressions. Perhaps he's questioning where a lifetime has gone, though he doesn't look sad. We don't talk as much anymore. He just smiles at me, the same as he does in the mirror. I have to get going, Pop. I'll be back tomorrow. After bending down to give him a kiss on his forehead, I turn to leave. As I walk away, I look back and see the same thing. A quick smile at me, and then he looks into the mirror. As I exit the hospital, I wonder where all the time has gone. He used to pick me up on the weekends and take me to his place to hang out. Having parents that don't live together does have its benefits, as there is always a fight for attention. And as the child, you were quite aware of this. makes you any happier in the situation. But that's kind of the way it is. You either find the benefit or you focus on the misery. Every child of divorce finds something to use as an escape. Music was my salvation at the time, and in many ways it still is. A good song captures in lyrics your feelings and expresses it better than you ever could. Songs somehow reflect your inner voice and give you a vehicle for salvation. The beauty of a song is that you can switch from misery to happiness in 4 minutes in a faster beat. After a short drive, I parked my car near my apartment. As I walk towards my home, I enjoy the light, cool breeze fanning over my face. My hands are in my pockets, which an old girlfriend said never to do. If you fall, how you catch yourself, she said. I walk along the sidewalk, listening to the quietness of the night. I hear a footstep hit the pavement and glance behind me as the moonlight floods over my path, casting my shadow 10 feet narrow behind me. Ironically, my past is trailing and is so much larger than who I am today. Perhaps that's why people get stuck in the past. It's like a shadow hanging over you, who you're trying to become, always there and never letting you forget your darkness. When I get home, I meander around the apartment before slipping into my nighttime routine and collapsing on my sofa with a drink. I watch a little TV and fall into my comfort zone of a good movie until the drink in my hand and the plot wears me thin. I turn off the lights, head to bed, and lay there staring at the ceiling. It gets darker and darker until there isn't a ceiling at all. Chapter 2, Lost Time. 6 a.m. tired, worn, redundant. I get up and hit the shower. When you've done the same morning routine for so long, you don't even think. You just hear the same various thoughts about nothing. Anger, fantasy, and conversations on repeat, playing in your head, and you move along like a machine. Usually I reflect on the day before and all the things I could have, should have, or would have said had I been quicker, smarter, better, and less fearful. I brush my teeth, grab my coffee, and get dressed as the clock races to the moment I have to be out of the house. I grab my keys, phone, and briefcase, and then I'm off to another day at the races. I hit a point where I got so bored with this every morning cycle that I do things like brush my teeth before I shower, just to break the monotony of it all. Tired and numb, I drive to the store to pick up my second cup of coffee. The clerk flashes the same numb feeling back at me as I say good morning and then leave and get back into my car. I guess many people feel the same way I do. With my hands on my steering wheel, I let out a scream. I can't help but let it out sometimes. Don't get me wrong, things in my life are great. I have a good job, nice apartment, some money, and the occasional date. I shouldn't be complaining, but most of the time things are just routine. I'm just going through the motions as I head to my grave. This morning, I decided to skip the 22-minute news flash of the world and blast some music to cheer me up. We found love in a hopeless place. We found a love in a hopeless place. The car dance kicks in. You know that one where you're singing loudly, shifting your body like a worm in a can. To avoid feeling like an idiot when passing through the toll booth, I lower the music, but I'm still buzzing from my little high. Morning, I say with enthusiasm as I wait for change. The toll taker echoes my sentiment back with excitement as if he's just lowered his radio too. As I pull away, I turn the tunes back up. My 30 minutes of salvation before the office. I'm going to make this day great. Why not, right? But then the lights stare as I slow to 5 miles per hour. I lower the radio. You can't enjoy blasting fun music while in traffic. I notice the clock. I'm going to be late. My body tenses up as I know my boss is going to get upset with me. Agitated, I honk the horn as if it'll do anything. I see the guy in front of me scream at me with his hand in his rearview mirror. There's nothing he or I can do but wait. 10 minutes feels like an hour. I finally see the problem, an accident on the other side of the road, and everyone is slowing down to watch. This is what I've been in traffic for, so everyone can watch someone on the other side of the road. This is kind of what life has become, what the media does, and now what we do. We flip on the TV or open a magazine to see the wreck that happened today. We focus on celebrity gossip gossip, or someone who has no bearing on our actual world, creating the perfect distraction from our own life. When I arrive at work, I get off the elevator and walk into the office. Upon entering, I see her almost instantly. Sitting behind the reception desk, that beautiful face, long brown hair, that sexy smile. Thank God she is the first person I see every morning. She smiles at me. Hi Michael, how are you? Great, Sierra, how are you doing? I respond. This is a face I can wake up to every morning, I think to myself. Sweet, kind, beautiful, smart. She's the whole package. Same old, she says. The boss wants you to stop by his office at 9:30. That can't be good, I think to myself. Do you know why? I ask. Nope, no clue, but he does seem annoyed today. He's in one of his moods. Okay, thanks, Sierra. Immediately my mind starts searching for what I did. What did I screw up? What does he need to speak to me about? I wonder if it has something to do with the presentation last week or the report summary from yesterday. I don't even remember walking to my desk because I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong. Watching the clock is making time slow to crawl. This isn't helping. I have to focus on something else. As I pull up my email, I'm still trying to figure out what I could be. I begin reading the daily memo and other messages, but find myself constantly having to reread what I just read because my mind is focused on why he wants to see me. At 9:29 a.m., I head into his office. Still a little shaky, I see him inside and knock on the door. Hey Mike, how are you? Grab a seat. He says, oh, this can't be good. My mind responds. I take a seat and smile. Doing well, Phil. How about you? I'm okay. I was up all night because my daughter is sick, so I'm a bit tired. I love having a kid, but sometimes, well, that explains what Sierra said to me. I think to myself. He continues, hey, listen, I like the presentation you gave last week, and I want you to start work on the Hugo presentation. Relief. Sure, I'd be glad to, I say. Thanks, Mike. I'll catch up with you later. As I leave the office at first, I'm relieved, but then that feeling like I'm a complete idiot flares up. Why do I always do this to myself? I had no idea what he wanted to talk about, and I came up with the worst possibilities, as well as every other horrible possibility. I don't even know what happened to the last 30 minutes of my day. Why do I assume that things are going to be bad, that I messed up, that I disappointed someone? Why does my mind spin out of control? This is the second time today I've completely lost myself and time. Okay, focus. I'm literally shaking my head to get rid of the thoughts. Chapter 3. Meeting Jeannie. 5 o'clock, checkout time. As I get to my car, I'm relieved the day is done. It was a good day, except for the whole morning fiasco. Now what should I do? I find that most days I leave for work feeling the same way. Good job, good day. Now what? So what? Most days I go home and grab some takeout dinner or cook something. Overall, I try to watch what I eat to ensure I'm fairly healthy. I haven't spent a lot of time really looking into what I am or what I'm not supposed to eat, but I hear enough to make good decisions. I'll cook up some dinner, turn on the TV, and watch the movies until I fall asleep. The life of a bachelor, I guess. Amazing that married men usually crave these days. No wife, no kids, no responsibility. It's definitely a good time for a little while, but I don't think I give my life like this, which is probably why most people get married in the first place. I definitely want to get married and have kids. I think I'd be a good father. It seems that's the way things are supposed to go, right? Grow up, get a job, get married, have a kid. Sigh. There must be something more to this. Otherwise, it's this routine until you die. What's the point? Feeling a little bummed out, I decide to stop off for a little something to lift my spirits. I walk into the local bar and immediately have that feeling of a cool and exciting possibility. The darkish neon lit signage, the odor of slightly old alcohol, some old Nirvana playing in the background. It's an old friend at this point. That feeling, it reminds me of college and so many other times when I was looking for something. Perhaps a way out, perhaps a girl. I was looking for that feeling to lift me out of whatever funk I was in. I take a seat and make eye contact with the bartender. Hey, Jack and Coke, please. I don't know what the hell happened today. Just one of those days, I guess. she'd say, smiling. "What can I get you?" asked the bartender. "Apple martini, please," she says, then turning back to me with a smile. "So, what are you doing here, Michael?" "I just figured I'd stop in for a drink," I say. "You?" "Same, so glad to see you." And the conversation would continue with her looking at me, smiling, gazing into my eyes, and getting closer to me. After a while, I wake from my imaginary thoughts and notice a woman staring at me. She's a beautiful Korean woman with short brown hair and a big smile. She sees me looking at her. "Having fun?" she asks. I look around for a moment, as if she were talking to someone else who was near me. Seeing no one else, I look back at her. "Excuse me, I asked you if you were having fun. You're sitting there with a smile on, dazing off. Obviously, there's something good going up there." She smiles, gesturing towards my head. "Oh, I was just thinking about something." "Yeah, I got that. Careful, it's easy to get lost in there," she says. "And where?" "In your head, silly." Not knowing what to say at that point. "Yeah, right. Hi, I'm Michael." "Hi, Michael." "And you are?" "Jeannie." "Nice to meet you, Jeannie." "You're not going to start storytelling about me, are you?" she asks in a skeptical tone. "Huh? Your mind. Storytelling. Keep it focused for a bit, will ya? Maybe we can have a conversation." Laughing slightly and awkwardly, I say, "Okay, I'm just thinking about work." "Not with that smile you weren't." She laughs a little. I don't know how to respond. "Right, okay. Hey, I'm not judging you. It's just pretty obvious." "What's her name?" "Who?" "In your story, what's her name?" "His name, the one you were thinking about." Slightly embarrassed, I say, "Sierra, a woman I work with." "Is she your girlfriend, or is she just someone you stare at dreamingly every day?" "Jesus, you're kind of forward, aren't you?" I say sharply. "You can call it forward. I'm just asking you a real question. I'm not interested in your stories." Lowering my head a bit, I stare at the floor. I exhale and then look back up at her. No, she's not my girlfriend. Jeannie stands up and pays for a drink. Walking towards me, she places her hand on her arm and looks at me in the eyes. "Either ask her out, or you'll be stuck there." "Stuck where?" She smiles and gently nudges her index and middle finger against my forehead. "Aren't you tired of it yet?" she asks in a rhetorical tone as she tilts her head to the side. She turns and walks out the door, leaving me sitting there, staring at the door that closed behind her. What just happened? I think to myself. I finish my drink and think about this woman who just left. Where is she from? Will I see her again? What was that all about? And then my mind stops and I hear her voice in my head, storytelling. I shake my head a bit and get rid of the thought, leave some money on the bar and stand up to leave. Exiting the bar, I look left and right but don't see her. Wow, that was a bit surreal. As I walk to the car, I replay her words in my mind. Do I storytell a lot? I did it before she started talking to me. I did it this morning with Phil. Maybe she's right. I wonder if I will see her again. She was beautiful. Perhaps I will stop by tomorrow and she'll be here. Again, I hear her voice in my head, storytelling. Okay, shut up, enough, I get it, I think, as I realize that I'm arguing with myself as I begin my drive home. I turn on the radio, which is something I do every now and again for the randomness of the music. An old Elton John song is playing, and this lyric is perfect at the moment. Little Jeannie, you've got so much love, little Jeannie, I hear him sing, and I can't help but laugh aloud. My mind shifts back to her. I wonder if she'll be there tomorrow. Chapter 4. The Kopok Tree. The Kopok Tree. I open my eyes after a restful night of sleep. A slow stretch, a twist, a bit of a yawn. Ah, Saturdays. Sunlight floods my apartment and I lay there staring at the ceiling. I turn my head and look at the sun rays as they light up different flecks of color on the wooden floors. I love sunshine. It makes makes everything brighter. I walk to the kitchen and make some coffee and then check my phone. As I look at the emails I've received, I notice one from a coworker in the middle of the night. Who the hell is working on Friday night at 2 a.m.? As I read the name of my sender list, my chest tightens. Derek Mostander. The name gets me twisted. He drives everyone at work nuts. There's always a problem. He always has a comment. And more often than not a nice person. While seeing him annoys me, what kills me the most is that I can't see this side of things at times and sometimes even agree with him. I've never met another person who tries so hard to be friends with people yet at the same time burns bridges with every word he utters. It's gotten to the point where people either placate him or turn the other way when he's coming. It's easier that way, but there's part of me that's drawn to him and I'm not sure why. I reluctantly open the email to find he has a problem with a project I'm working on. He always finds a problem and it's annoying. He's not even my superior, but he always seems to have something to say, even when a situation has nothing to do with him. Why did I open the email? I was having a nice Saturday morning, then bam. Mostander. Breathe, I say to myself. Put the phone down, have some coffee, and think about something else. As I sit with my coffee, I can't help but think about this guy. If he hates his job, why doesn't he just leave? Maybe he doesn't hate the job. Maybe he's just argumentative about everything. It's pretty dang obvious no one likes him or wants to work with him, and I don't think he likes most of us either. I take a deep breath and exhale. Now I have to call Phil and see what the next steps are. After thinking it for a moment, it dawns on me. Well, maybe I don't have to do that right now. Maybe I haven't read the email yet. Yeah, how did they know what I read? Notice when it's been a half hour since I woke up. I have no clue what just happened in the past 30 minutes. All I did was waste it on Mostander. And what a waste. Okay, I need to shift my thoughts and figure out the day. I'm going to see my dad at the hospital and I have to go shopping for food. After that thought, her face pops in my mind. I definitely want to go back to the bar from last night. Maybe she'll be there. After a shower and a second cup of joe, I hop in my car and start the drive to see my dad. I've decided I'm not going to think about work for a while and instead focus on the fact that it's Saturday. The sky is blue, the sun is breathing, and it feels great. I take a breath and pull over at the store to pick up some breakfast. I'm excited at the day ahead and whistle as I walk into the store. When I get to the counter, I notice the clerks look very happy today. Big smile, really friendly greeting. He must be having a nice day too. When I arrive at the hospital, I go to my dad's room and he's not there. All I see is an empty bed with a mirror resting in the middle of it. A bit nervous, I ask the nurse on duty where he is. She tells me he was taken out for some routine tests and that he'll be back in about a half hour. Okay, just tell him I'm here. I'll go for a walk outside in the courtyard while waiting. Enjoy, says the nurse. It's a beautiful day. Walk outside and take a deep breath of air. I can almost taste the sunlight as it completely covers me in warmth. I pick up the food at a vendor and continue walking, looking for a place to eat. While I walk along the path, I decide to take a detour onto the grass and find a nice spot to sit near a tree. The trees here are beautiful, some were imported. This one in particular has a little silver plaque in front that says donated anonymously. Below that, it says the name of the tree. It's a kapok tree. The tree trunk is very wide, with a flat, fin-like base that creates the illusion of a wall with spikes all over it. I look up and the tree towers into the sky. I can't help but stare at it. So gorgeous, so green, so different. I wonder where it's from or how it got here. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Says a female voice from behind me. Without turning around, I say, yeah, amazing. How did it get here? No clue, she says. Someone donated it. I'm just glad they did because I love it and I would never have seen it if it weren't. It was a very special tree. Someone was thoughtful. Agreed, I respond. She continues, perhaps they donated it so you can have this moment. Perhaps everything you see was given for you to enjoy at this moment. You just have to be present to see it. Enjoy, take care. When I turn around, I see a lot of people walking past, but no one is behind me. I'm not not even sure who I was talking to. After looking around at who it could have been, I give up and turn back and look at the tree. It's true what she said though. You never know the full effect of something you do. Everyone has an idea to donate a tree because they thought it was beautiful. Now I have the luxury of sitting by it and admiring it, as does that woman who knows how many other people look at it every day. Interesting. I guess it's like that in general. You do something you like and you want to share it, and then it benefits others. The person who thought of donating this tree made a decision that will benefit others forever, because he will never meet people he will never meet. That's kind of cool. What am I doing with my life that will benefit others? I finish my breakfast sandwich, stand up, and walk back into the hospital. When I get to my dad's room, he is sitting there, smiling, mirror in hand. "Hey, Pop, how are you doing?" "A little better today," he said softly. I know I'm having a good day when I look down at the hallway and see the room numbers clearly, but overall I'm tired, very tired. "I know, Pop. Glad to hear that you're having a better day. You had me a bit worried this week." "Yeah, well, that's the way of things. Some days are good, some aren't so good. That's why it's important to use your time wisely. It goes, Michael, it goes so fast." He pauses and stares off in the distance, as if thinking about a memory. Days are slow, years go fast. It was just yesterday when I was in college, or first laid eyes on your mother. I remember it clear as day. He lets out a big sigh. "I don't know where it all goes. It just does." "Hey, Pop, can I ask you a question? Have you done anything that benefited people you'll never meet?" "Yes, Michael, I think lots of things, but the best thing I did that will benefit others is you." "Dad," I say in a very doubtful tone. "I'm serious, Michael. You have so much to offer, and in time you will offer it. It just takes a while to figure it all out. Hopefully you'll figure it out faster than I did." "So you did figure it out," I say excitedly, like a child about to open up a present. "Tell me." He laughs. "It doesn't work that way, Michael. You have to figure it out for yourself." I sigh. "Whatever you say, Pop. Hey, what's with the mirror?" He smiles at me but doesn't answer. He just picks it up again, looks at it, and then turns it towards me in a softer, more whispered voice. He says, "Look, Michael." "Yeah, Dad, I see myself." "Very good, Michael, very good. Remember that." And then he turns the light back down and starts to fall asleep. The nurse approaches. He's going to be asleep for a while. It's the medicine. I understand. Okay, when he wakes up, can you tell him I'll visit him again in a day or two? Sure, says the nurse. He's a very smart man, your dad. Yeah, thanks. I know. No, it's more than smart. He's wise, she says with admiration. He's an old soul. This is not the first time I've heard someone say that. Thank you. Thank you for looking after him. My pleasure, she says cheerfully. As I leave the hospital, I remember her words. He's an old soul. I've heard that term stated about my dad, and I've also heard it once or twice about me. My father was always someone that people looked towards for advice and guidance. He was like an old sage for many. Then again, perhaps that was my perception of him. Aside from stories he told me, how would I really know anyway? I'm sure he told me things that flattered him. I guess we all share the highlight reel of moments that make us feel good. Was he, or is he the man I picture him to be? Or is that just me? Storytelling. Wait a second, is that what she meant? Have I been doing this my whole life? Does he choose the stories he wants to focus on to paint himself in a certain light? Do I do this? Do I consider myself a kind, generous, helpful, smart, and nice guy? Or is this the reality that I've been telling myself? Sitting stunned, I sit in the car for I have no idea how long actually. If this is true, what does it mean about him and the way I see him? What about the way I see myself? My mind races about the girls I've dated, the events in my life, so many things, so many stories I've created. How much time was spent on these stories, and the in-between stories I tell myself while waiting for the full we tell ourselves and others. Snapping them out of my thoughts, I start my car and take note of the time, 2 p.m. The day is moving fast. I've got enough time to get home, get some food, and go chill before heading to the bar. When I get to the supermarket, I realize I forgot my list, which means inevitably I'm going to forget something I need. As I browse the aisles, I throw the staples in my cart: milk, eggs, cheese, meat, etc. With certain items, I read the labels to check fat contents and calories. When I stare at each item, I choose it because it has less than 20% fat. I don't really know much about the rest of it, but I figure this is a good enough gauge of health. Standing in line, I notice the person in front of me. She's staring off, thinking about something, someone, or something that happened. She looks lost, angry, annoyed. She makes a face as if she were talking with someone. I watch for a few moments and then have a realization. A smile graces my face. Ah, she's storytelling. Is that what I look like? At least I understand how obvious it was to Jeannie. I wonder if she'll be there tonight. What should I wear? What will she be wearing? I wonder if we'll talk. If I will see her, I'll offer her to buy a drink. It's typical but the right thing to do. I can see us really hitting it off, laughing and drinking. Perhaps she'll go home with me, or am I getting ahead of myself? An alarming voice interrupts my thoughts. Sir. I look up. Yes. Dude, put your items on the belt. Let's go. There's a line behind you. Sorry. I start putting my stuff on the conveyor. I didn't even realize I was at the register already and it was my turn. I was completely in my head. There I go again, getting lost. Storytelling. How often do I do this? I don't even notice it's happening. Does anyone? Watching the cashier ring my stuff up, he also seems dazed. He is methodically and repetitively scanning. Beep, beep, bag, beep, beep, bag. He must be so bored. As I wheel my cart towards the exit door, I hear a roar of laughter behind me and turn around to see the same cashier talking and laughing with the woman who was in line after him. Why is he laughing out loud with her when she was so mundane with me? I head to my car and start the trek home. I laugh to myself in my thoughts. Trek, strange choice of words. As if my 15-minute highway drive is the equivalent of a trek. Up a mountain or a trek up through space, the final frontier. At the thought, I can't help but burst out with laughter. Sometimes I make things so much more bigger than they are. Once home, I get a burst of energy and wander around my apartment, cleaning up while lost in thought about what could be fun. A fun night ahead. I wonder if she's wondering if I will be there tonight. Perhaps she's at home, trying on different outfits to see what I'd like best. Yeah, nice thought, but doubtful. What would someone like her want with me anyway? But hey, you never know. At around 8 o'clock, I start pacing around my apartment, not knowing what to do with myself. I know it's early, but perhaps I'll go to the bar and hang out there for a little while. I have no idea what time she'll be there. A voice chimes in my head. If she'll be there. Alright guys, so we are going to leave off on chapter 5 for now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you fall asleep. I hope you